away on the wall I put it on.
So summer of '79.
Yeah.
And you still have your first work.
My first piece ever done is still hitting away in Washington Heights.
Okay. What made you come to 5 Points?
I moved here in '03, and I used to take the 7 train to see my doctor on Woodside, 61st. So I used to see this place, and I would look, and every now and then I would see an old name from the days of the trains, and I'd be like, is that the same guy I grew up with, you know, or had problems with, you know, because friend or foe, you don't know. And one day I just came on my baby and said, I'm gonna come here on the bike and see this place, see what it's really about. And I met the guy who runs it.
Oh, the guy who runs it is here?
Yeah, he's sitting right there with our back to us.
Okay, I'll go talk to him.
Yeah, I'm sitting on this.
Okay.
He runs all the, if you come here to piece, you gotta get permission through him. And depending on how your sketch is, what size wall, he'll put you in a spot. You could be up there. There's stuff up there you may never see because it's in there, hitting away. You only see what's visible to your eye.
Do you usually put your name after you finish the paint?
Always you sign your piece.
Okay,
always.
Why do you always do that?
Because just like an artist would do it on a Picasso, somewhere in Picasso's pieces, there's a little etching that says his name. A graffiti writer always puts his handle. That way you know my tag stays the same. It doesn't, it's evolved in 31 years, but Dane 2 TNS is Dane 2 TNS. If another guy comes out and writes it, it won't look like me, you know?
Right.
You'll always be like, nah, that's not Dane 2. You'll know it's a different guy.
Where do you get your images from?
My images, anywhere. It could be a cartoon, it could be a magazine, heavy metal, Cheech Wizard. It was a magazine called Cheech Wizard by Van Bo. And his son Mark Bo now runs the family business. But he had this character that's underneath 5 Points. All the family characters are there, so you get to see what they look like. And that character was the first character that writers started putting on trains. But then also Bugs Bunny, Tom and Jerry. It didn't really matter. B-boys, you know, it's always good to have B-boys just chilling with their little hats, Adidas, you know.
Can you tell me more about the train era, like how it started?
Oh, the trains. Okay, the train era started with a tag. It was this, but much, much fatter, right? And that's all they did. They would go on the outside of the train and take 1 tag, 2 tags on either side of the outside train and work your way to the ending of it and then cross over and work your way back on the other side. So both sides of the trains allowed everyone to see your hit. You know, they call it a hit back then. Now they call it a tag. But when you hit a wall, yeah, you want your tag to be legible, fancy, and fast. Because time is of the essence.
Did you do trains? Did you actually do that?
Yeah, I'm a graffiti writer from the train days, you know. Streets are just fun because they're there. Sanitation trucks were not off limits. You know, buses were not off limits. Churches are off limits. You know, churches are off limits. A graffiti writer does not write on a church. You don't bomb on people's private property. You understand? You don't do that. You don't, there's certain lines you don't cross. You know, when you see that, those are what we call toys. They got nothing better to do. They're just toys. Neighborhood idiots who in a year or two will probably give it up or go into worse things. You know, for now, this is what they do. Destroy private property.
Okay, that was my next question. When you do graffiti, do you see it as vandalizing or as a way of art for the eye?
It's a little bit of both because a graffiti writer really doesn't want to be noticed for who he really is. I just want you to look at my work. I don't want you to know who I am, my family, what my religion is. That's none of your business. You know, whether you like my artwork or not doesn't matter. Same way I got to put up with you when you're on a train with your clothing, your music, your cologne. Put up with my artwork. I mean, from the days of cavemen, someone has been sketching on a cave or on a tree or on a rock, leaving his or her handle. I was here. You know, and when you say I was here, you put it, I was here. Sometimes you'll put the very date you did it. You know, 7/21/09. So people know, 8:40 a.m. They know, damn, at this time, on this date, this guy rocked through this neighborhood. You know, and he did it under the cover of night.
Right.
And then the next day, I could just be going to the store with my mother. Nobody know I destroyed my whole block. All those storefront tags, those are all me. Mailboxes, that's me. Buses, that's me. So when I'm chilling in the park with the fellas, who's coming down the block on the bus? You know, that's my bus. Because I hit it. Everyone else be like, damn, I didn't.